Hi beautiful people, my name is Alice Njiriri and today I'm opening up on a journey that changed my life forever. A story of how GBS, a rare and autoimmune condition, turned my world upside down, but not for good. GBS is a condition that the body immune system attacks the nervous system. It all started on the morning of April 12, 2018. It was just like any other day. Health-wise, I was okay. I woke up as usual, prepared breakfast for the family, and I continued doing my other chores. I remember at about 11, when I was mopping the house, I remember squeezing the mop, and that is when I felt a strange prickling sensation in my right wrist. And somehow I felt as if I've lost some power. But because it was not painful, I ignored it and continued with what I was doing. But I could feel somehow there was some weakness in my arm. And at around 3, I decided to prepare some samosas. And when I was in the kitchen, I tried to raise my arm while it was bent. It only went halfway. I got worried, but because there was no pain, I just assumed maybe it was just my body misbehaving and the things will go away on its own. So I told my daughter, we'll prepare the samosa the following day, and I left the kitchen. At around 4, I went to visit a friend of mine, and at that time I could feel my legs were aching. The lower part of my legs were aching, like someone who has done some exercises and now the following day the way you usually feel. And I thought, maybe because the previous day I was somewhere and I had high heels, maybe that was the reason. At around 6, I wanted to prepare supper. So when I went to get my curls, I tried plucking, but my right hand could not pluck. I tried cutting the curls, my hand could not hold the knife. So I told my son to help me. He did the cutting and the preparing of the supper. But that breaking of the needle was the first signal of a long battle that was to follow. So when it was time to go to sleep, at that time I had a small kid. She was 11 months old. So when I tried to walk carrying her, I could feel my legs were weak. But I managed, carry her to her bedroom, and we slept. Covering my body was another issue, as my hand could not pull the blanket. So my husband had to help me. Breastfeeding the child was another issue. He had to hold the baby for me. After breastfeeding, put the baby to sleep again. So we slept. At around 2, I felt the urge to go to the restroom. And that is when reality struck me that something was not right. Because walking from my bedroom to the restroom was like climbing a hill. I managed and went back to my room. Okay, that's when I told my husband to call my sister, who will help to carry the child when we go to the hospital in the morning. At around 5, he called my sister. At about 7, my sister had arrived. Remember, that was on Thursday. Now we were waking up to Friday. So they took me to the hospital. At that time, okay, my hand could not hold anything, my hand was still weak, because I remember even holding a cup of tea, I had to use both hands. Walking, my sister had to support me. So when we went to the hospital, they had to look for a wheelchair that I had to use. When we saw the doctor, okay, he didn't know what was ailing me. So he sent us to a lab for some tests. Where we went, they did their test, and they concluded I had brucellosis. When we took the result to the doctor, at that time we found another doctor had entered the room, so there were 2 doctors. The first doctor said it was brucellosis. Now the other one asked her, can brucellosis make one paralyzed? So they decided to send us for a CT scan, which we went. The scan was done, and we were told to go for the result on Monday. And because my case was somehow urgent, my husband decided to take the scan to another private hospital for the reading. At around 5, they had not yet read my scan. So we were told to go home. My husband was told to go home, go for the result on Saturday now. So they came and they took me home. At that time, I was completely paralyzed. I could do nothing. I could not walk. I could not hold anything. I was just there. When it was time for me to sleep, that was where another challenge came up. I could not lie down, because whenever I tried to lie down, I could feel as if my airway was blocked. For 3 times they tried, and they decided I will spend my night on the couch. And that is exactly what happened. I stayed on the couch for the whole night. When I woke up the following morning, that now is on Saturday, we went, took the result, and on our way I read it was okay. And when we took the result to the doctor, he advised us to seek the services of a physician, since she was not able to diagnose what was ailing me. Lucky, the physician was in their building. The physician, when he was consulted, he told my family to take me to his clinic, which they did. They took me to his clinic. After his examination, he concluded I was suffering from GBS. At that moment, we had never heard of a condition called GBS, so we didn't know what was that. He told my husband to go and Google. At least he could have some idea of what GBS was. And he advised him to take me to the hospital now where we were, to be admitted there. And that was what he did. I was taken there and admitted. Now it was time for medication. He prescribed me some medication and told him to go in and look for those medication at some chemist there at the town. The medicine could not be found. So that night, I slept without any medication. I remember while in hospital, my condition started to deteriorate, and that is when I was told to be taken to the ICU. My friend, that is how it all started. This is the beginning of my story. In the next episode, I'll share with you about now the symptoms, medication, and the 1.5 months I spent in the intensive care unit. The fear, the fight, the moment that tested everything in me. My friend, if you like to follow my story, please share, share, subscribe. You never know who may want to hear this story. Thank you.